Social media went to work. The activists went to work. This is what I did the video on this morning. Arena removal isn't enough. Tar and feather the offender.
Like, apparently, you know, heckling a player is being racist. I don't know. Like, there's not a... Like, I mean this when I say this. Like, Sophie Cunningham is heckled worse than all of these players. Like, everything is apparently only Fever fans towards a certain player.
The cameras catch her frustrated face. The crowd murmurs. And suddenly, security is escorting a couple out of the arena. That's right. A husband and wife, Indiana Fever fans, yanked out of their seats because Allisha Gray couldn't handle a little heckling. Now, let me be clear. This isn't about one bad call, one bad shot, or even one bad night on the court. No, no, no. This is about thin skin, power plays, and a league that's blurring the line between fair criticism and outright censorship. The WNBA wants to grow, wants to be taken seriously? Well, here's the reality check.
In the town square. Well, this bozo, of course, called the Indiana Fever racist. A bunch of the racist fan base. They wanted this guy exposed and for him to lose his job. Are you shitting me over something that we're now finding out is on this player? This is nuts. By the way, security brought this couple back in and apologized to them.
You don't get to call yourself professional while crying to security every time a fan says you're not trying hard enough. And the kicker? Security didn't even back her up. They apologized to the fans, brought them back in, and admitted it was just protocol to calm down the player. Imagine that. Grown professionals needing babysitters on the court. But this story gets juicier because witnesses sitting right there are dropping bombs, saying Allisha Gray wasn't just rattled, she was the instigator, loafing on defense, flopping on the floor, jawing at fans instead of focusing on her team.
You know, Sophie Cunningham gets heckled by every single fan of every team, and it's, oh, she deserves it. Like, these are people who are hypocrites. They're hypocrites, but someone in this game, I was right there and they said nothing out of line. Gray overreacts. Security realized that and brought the fans back. Let's see what stories y'all make up who were not there. Gray was loafing after no call. She was laying on the floor right in front of us while her teammates by 4 and 5 the other end, resulting in open layup by Tash.
And when the crowd pointed it out, boom, meltdown. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't about fan behavior. This is about accountability, about a league that preaches toughness but punishes fans for pointing out the obvious. So buckle up, because tonight we're exposing the truth behind the so-called ejection, why social media instantly twisted it into a race war, and what it really says about the state of the WNBA. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe for the no-holds-barred truth, and let's get into it.
In the town square. Well, this bozo, of course, called the Indiana Fever racist. A bunch of the racist fan base. They wanted this guy exposed and for him to lose his job. Are you shitting me over something that we're now finding out is on this player? This is nuts. By the way, security brought this couple back in and apologized to them. All right, they removed the couple.
To really understand this mess, we've got to rewind the tape. Allisha Gray came into that playoff matchup already frustrated. She wasn't having the night she wanted. The shots weren't falling. The defense looked lazy. At one point, she was literally laying on the floor while her team played 4-on-5. And instead of hustling back, she looked more interested in flopping than fighting. Now, fans notice that stuff, especially playoff fans. These aren't tourists with pink hair there for the photo op. These are sports fans, real fans. They know the game. They love the game. And yes, they talk trash.
When security returned the fans to their seats, they apologized to the fans right in front of all of us, saying we just had to do our jobs. Props to them and the fans for keeping their cool while Gray was initiating a confrontation. So our conclusion is standard chirping at players from a crowd trying to get in the heads of opposing players, and Gray was too thin-skinned to shrug it off. I mean, she was just pissed off. There's no way that he gets kicked. There's no way that this fan gets kicked out if the Atlanta Dream are winning the game. Like, it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Like,
pointed, complained, and security got involved. But here's where it really backfired. The couple that got escorted out, witnesses say they weren't even crossing the line. The guy simply shouted, "You're good, Lex." She's not even trying anymore. That's it. No profanity, no racism, no threats. Just a basic heckle that players in the NBA, NFL, or even college hoops hear every single night. And that's what makes this situation so ridiculous. If a single comment like that is enough to trigger an ejection, how is this league ever going to survive the real spotlight? So let's lay this out clearly, step by step. First, Allisha Gray is struggling, shooting 4 for 16, flopping around, frustrated, clearly not locked in. The Dreamer fighting to stay alive, but Gray's body language screams defeat. Second, a Fever fan does what fans do. He encourages Lexi Hull. "You're good, Lex. She's not even trying anymore." That's not crossing a line. That's called playoff basketball. That's called energy in the building. Third, Gray doesn't just hear it, she takes it personally. She whirls around, starts jawing at the fan, even throwing her arms up mid-play while her team is on defense. Think about that. Instead of locking in on her assignment, she's locked in on a heckler. That's not professionalism, that's ego. Fourth, security steps in. They escort the couple out. Not because the fans broke rules, but because Gray couldn't handle the chirping. Let that sink in. Paying customers removed from their seats because a player's feelings got bruised. Fifth, and here's the kicker, security later apologized to the couple, brought them back to their seats. Why? Because they knew the fans hadn't done a damn thing wrong. It was protocol to calm down the player. Translation? Babysitting duty. Finally, social media explodes. Activists cry racism. Articles pop up demanding this guy be exposed, fired from his job, dragged through the mud, all over a harmless heckle that eyewitnesses confirm was nothing more than normal sports banter. So what do we have? A player melting down, fans falsely accused, and a league that looks more fragile than ever. This wasn't a fan problem. This was an Allisha Gray problem. Now here's where the whole thing explodes into pure hypocrisy. Because the second this story hit Twitter, and that's the dirty little secret here. This isn't about Allisha Gray. This isn't even about that fan. This is about who he was rooting for. If you're a Fever fan, if you're connected to Caitlyn Clark in any way, you're instantly the villain. Doesn't matter if you said nothing wrong. Doesn't matter if security clears you. The mob will paint you as the enemy. That's the escalation. A player has a bad night, lashes out, and instead of taking accountability, she gets cover from an online outrage machine desperate to shift blame. And who pays the price? Not Gray, not the league, not the activists. It's the fans, the paying customers, the very people the WNBA claims they want more of. So ask yourself, what happens the next time a fan says anything to a player? If "you're not trying" can get you branded a racist and nearly canceled, where's the line? Because right now, it looks like the WNBA doesn't have one. It's not about rules, it's about narratives, and that's dangerous. Now let's break this down. Why would the WNBA create its own version of the Jordan rules for Caitlyn Clark? Simple. Money, ratings, and survival. The truth is, Caitlyn Clark isn't just another rookie. She's the golden goose. The WNBA has never seen this kind of mainstream spotlight before. Sold-out arenas, record-breaking jersey sales, and ESPN giving more coverage to the Fever than some NBA teams. And let's be real, this league has struggled for decades to break into the mainstream. Now, suddenly, Caitlyn shows up and boom, TV numbers skyrocket, ticket prices triple, merch sells out overnight. She is, without question, the single biggest financial engine the WNBA has ever had. So when an ex-NBA player says she's being protected, he's not exaggerating. The league simply cannot afford to let her fail, let her get hurt, or, God forbid, let her look average. Every hard foul against her, headlines. Every elbow she takes, controversy. And the league knows it. It's the same way the NBA once shielded Jordan because he was the face of the brand. The WNBA is playing the exact same game, only now the stakes are survival versus irrelevance. Caitlyn isn't just a rookie. They're betting the entire league's future on her. But hold up, if you think everyone's cheering for Caitlyn Clark's Jordan rules, think this isn't just defense, it's a message. You don't get to skip the line. And fans? Oh, they're divided too. One side says the league is right, protect your star, grow the brand. But the other side says this looks fake, scripted, even rigged. Because if Caitlyn gets treated like royalty while everyone else gets treated like disposable labor, how long before the locker rooms crack in half? This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about respect, legacy, and power. And for some veterans, Caitlyn Clark isn't the savior of the WNBA. She's a threat to everything they've fought for. So here we are. Caitlyn Clark, the rookie who came into the WNBA with more hype than any player in history. now playing under what fans are calling the Jordan rules. She's protected, promoted, and pushed as the golden goose of the league. And love her or hate her, you can't deny, this changes everything. Because if Caitlyn succeeds, the WNBA succeeds. Sponsors line up, TV ratings spike, arenas sell out. She's the ticket, the headline, the why behind every highlight reel. But if this protection backfires, if fans start seeing favoritism as unfair, if players start resenting the double standard, then the very thing meant to grow the league could rip it apart from the inside. That's the real drama here. The league isn't just betting on Caitlyn Clark the player, they're betting on Caitlyn Clark the brand. And once you make a player the brand, you stop talking about wins and losses. You start talking about survival. So the question isn't just, can Caitlyn Clark handle the heat? It's bigger. Can the WNBA survive its own gamble? One rookie, one spotlight, one league with everything on the line. And trust me, this story, it's only getting started. If you want more no-filter breakdowns on the WNBA's biggest stars and controversies, smash that subscribe, hit that like, and drop your take in the comments. Because this debate, it's not ending anytime soon.